Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Icon Aircraft sales contract is a doozy. It's announced Farnborough AirShow will be safe. Kenosha, Wisconsin says no to skydiving. I'm Bree Cross. It's March 29th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Over the years, airplane designs have come and gone, and some have made promises that never materialized. Icon Aircraft has been promising its unique A5 amphibious airplane design for a number of years, and now that they say they are ready for deliveries, the purchase contract is, to say the least, unusual. The contract is highly restrictive, certainly controversial. The purchase agreement leaves one wondering, are you buying an Icon A5 or just borrowing it? The reason we ask this question is simply that the Icon sales contract is one of the most convoluted, restrictive, anti-customer documents that ANN has ever seen. A number of people that we consulted not only agree with the concern over its restrictive nature, but also seem to indicate that aspects of the current contract may be legally indefensible. Built under the Special Light Sport Aircraft certification procedures, this was promoted as an easy way to get into an advanced airplane. From what ANN has seen, availability of the airplane is questionable, the promises of deliveries have not been forthcoming, and the purchase contract is absurd. This is not what light sport aviation is supposed to be all about. ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell says this is looking to be a buyer beware situation. Organizers of the Farnborough AirShow have posted a statement on their website to answer questions about the safety concerns related to the annual airshow planned this year for July 16th and 17th. The statement issued assurances that safety governs every aspect of the airshow. They say that all pilots will be properly validated and that all low-altitude displays will occur only over the airfield boundaries. They even indicated that electro-optical tracking systems will detect any flights that deviate from the approved performance pattern or area. Some of the safety actions include closing roads adjacent to the performance area and increasing the crowd line distance from the airshow center line. They say they are also working with their stakeholders and local agencies to ensure that those outside the show are as safe as those inside. The statement concluded, quote, Farnborough will continue to be the showcase for the international aviation industry and celebration of the pioneers of flight. After the break, Kenosha Airport says skydiving interferes.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, our website or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. The city of Kenosha, Wisconsin has asked the FAA to support the attempt to ban skydiving at Kenosha Regional Airport because its contract controller says the activity conflicts with other traffic at the airport, particularly corporate jets. The World Skydiving Center is subleasing a facility on the airport, and the city has recommended that the sublease not be renewed. The lease ends on January 1st of this year. The airport, which receives federal funding, is obligated to allow all recognized aviation activities unless it can be proved that a specific activity impinges on the safety of the airport operation. The contract control tower operator claims that the skydiving operation is disruptive, requires a grounding of all aircraft operations while the skydiving is in operation, and has reported cases of skydivers landing on runways or walking across active runways after landing. It's reported the FAA says it has drawn no conclusions based on the evidence presented by the contract controller. The FAA says that significantly more analysis is needed before it would agree to ban skydiving, which is a recognized aviation activity at the airport. Every Tuesday, we look ahead at some of the more interesting events in the aviation universe. Here is this week's Aero-Calendar. The Aero-Calendar is starting to fill up, and our first event is very special. On April 2nd, the Aviation Foundation of America will unveil a life-size statue of beloved aviation legend R.A. Bob Hoover at a reception at the National Air and Space Museum's Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center. Hoover's contributions to aviation and aerospace have advanced the United States' global leadership in the industry, as well as safety and skill for millions of pilots. All of us at A&N congratulate our friend Bob, who is well deserving of this recognition. Airplanes and azaleas mixed together at the Azalea Air Race Fly-In, being held in Natchitoches, Texas on April 2nd. The Sport Air Racing League will host the Azalea Air Race first race of the 2016 season during the second Azalea Fly-In. Shuttle service will be provided to Texas's largest azalea garden. It's a beautiful town and is the oldest town in Texas. The Yellow Rose B-25 Mitchell bomber will also be there. Another April 2nd event is the OSU Flying Aggies Fly-In, being held at Stillwater Regional Airport in Oklahoma. There will be airplanes flying in from all over, static displays, and the OSU flight team demonstration, as well as airplane rides. Lunch will be served for $10 per person. Savvy pilots in the area advise you to stop in Ponca City first for breakfast and then head to Stillwater. And of course, April 5th starts the 6-day party in Lakeland, Florida, known as Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo. This event marks a kickoff to the airshow season where sun, fun, and aviation all come together. The A&N crew will be there and be ready to get an early start with our Sun and Fun Innovation Preview. We hope to see you there. After these messages, the U.S. Coast Guard to be celebrated at AirVenture 2016.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. EAA has announced that a century of aircraft used to save lives and protect freedom will be highlighted at EAA AirVenture 2016. They will salute U.S. Coast Guard aviation and celebrate its men, women, and aircraft. The Coast Guard will also have their aircraft on display. United Launch Alliance successfully completed the preliminary design review for the Vulcan Centaur launch vehicle with dual Blue Origin BE-4 engines. This is a major milestone in the development of the Vulcan launch vehicle and confirms that the design meets mission requirements. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association honored air traffic controllers who performed life-saving flight assist in 2015 at the 12th Annual Archie League Medal of Safety Awards banquet held last week. This recognizes members who have performed above and beyond the call of duty. Earlier this month, the FAA informed local officials in Bergen County, New Jersey, that it was planning changes in flight paths around Teterboro Airport. The new changes will go into effect April 4th for a 6-month trial period. The first of 16 Augusta-Westland AW101 helicopters for the Norwegian Ministry of Justice and Public Security performed its first flight at its helicopter factory in the UK last week. This flight marks a major milestone and the start of the flight test program. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. The Civil Aviation Safety Authority in Australia has issued a safety bulletin warning of the dangers posed by mud dauber wasp nesting in airplanes. There have actually been cases of insects like wasps or bees flying around cockpits that have led to accidents. However, this safety bulletin is not related to the distractions caused by the pilot being attacked. It's about the airplane being attacked. According to the bulletin, mud dauber wasp nests pose a significant safety hazard to all aircraft because they typically remain undetected in aircraft structure, flight controls, drains, and flight instrument pitot static systems until during or after takeoff. A wasp nest can completely block pitot tubes, fuel tank vents, and drains. The Australian Safety Authority documents a number of accidents caused by such problems with these insects, and the issue is certainly not limited to that part of the world. It's a universally common practice to use proper protective coverings on areas of the aircraft that can attract these kinds of pests. This safety warning from Down Under can be applied to U.S. aviators as well. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.